intro, make sure you read what it says underneath the title ranking every boss in Paper Mario Color Splash. Read what it says in this box before I start the intro. Read what it says. Read what it says down there. I'll give you some time. Okay. Yeah, hope you read that, because that's very important if you don't want to get blocked in my comments. Well, apart from if you swear in the comments, there's also another thing apart from swearing in the comments for this specific video that can get you blocked. So make sure you read that, because I will probably block or delete your comment, whatever I do. Anyway, but today I'm ranking the bosses in Paper Mario Color Splash. This is the second to last video I'm doing in November. Because there are December videos, and I think you probably know what I'm doing in December at this point. There's a friend I know, but I don't think he's going to reveal that, because he doesn't. I'm not going to talk about that though. We're ranking the bosses in Paper Mario Color Splash, obviously. Why wouldn't? Obviously, you know I had to do this. Well, and make sure. All right, I'm including every boss, every Koopaling boss, every mini boss. You know, the music thing. And even some you might not even consider that count as bosses, but I saw on the wiki they counted, or I just counted them myself. Yeah. Like, for example, the mini bosses are either bosses of the music, with that music thing, or if it said in the wiki, it's a boss. All the Koopalings, all the mini bosses, and stuff like that all count as bosses. But anyway, like, subscribe, but 100 subscribers and playing Doors in Minecraft. No swearing in the comments, obviously. But anyway, hope you enjoy, and let's go. Oh, we're 2 minutes in. Skip to this point to skip the intro. Number 15, I think. I'm gonna check. I said I'm gonna. Okay, number 15. This boss, I didn't actually intend to put this one at last place, but there was one thing that kind of annoyed me, and I can't do in games similar to Color Splash, like Sticker Star, that obviously wasn't able to do in Color Splash. So obviously I'd have to put this in last place. There was actually a specific boss I wanted to put in last place, but it didn't reach the top 10 actually, but it did. But it wasn't. Yeah, I'll let you know what it is when I get to it though. But anyway, Larry Cooper is getting last place, obviously. Also, look at Larry Cooper. Anyway, also, yeah, you know the card. I'll also put what cards actually required to defeat the boss on the right, over here as well. Anyway, the Larry Cooper's kind of annoying, as there's a toad on the train, as it's on the Sunset Express. There's a toad has to get inside the driving area of the train or locomotive to take that Shy Guy out of there. But if I don't block any attack, our progress gets reset. That's probably the reason I put this at last place, just for that annoying thing. And also you almost never get to damage Larry, actually, because you mainly focused on the enemy. But when you're put in the train, because Larry keeps getting healed every time, we're killed by the Shy Guy because of the chimney. But anyway, but once that toad eventually takes the Shy Guy out and gets healed, then Larry uses the magic wand to shoot smoke at Mario, and that's why you have to use the cork. And the cork will cover up, will clog the chimney, so there won't be any more smoke. But it is still kind of annoying with all that, because then the fight just becomes a little too. Then the fight turns into a normal battle, and that's just one thing. Obviously, that's why it's in last place. I was actually alright. The Black Shy Guy. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about it. I should have put. If it wasn't for Larry, I would have actually put this in last place if it wasn't for Larry and me being biased or something. I don't know. I can admit, but honestly, it's still my ranking. Don't try and change it. Even trying to change my ranking could get you deleted out. Depending on how you try, it might get you blocked or deleted. But anyway, anyway, obviously this ranking is this. Anyway, what I mean, the Black Shy Guy you could just defeat with the power block and then attack it, or using thing stickers, as they can dodge any other attack otherwise. I'm moving on. Okay, in Paper Mario Sticker Star, I mean not Sticker Star, Color Splash, sorry. Well, yeah, there are big enemies that are actually just considered bosses for being big enemies, but there's already a Mondo Woods level just for them. So things like the big spine will obviously, yeah, get it out. It's just a big spiny, and worse. The reason it's worse is because after a very annoying part of the level, the section before the big spiny where in Kiwana Temple, they could, yeah, the place before the big spiny on before Kiwana Temple requires you on like a circle flat thing on spikes, and rising level, but but I lost because of getting less health. Kiwana Temple was one of the levels that kind of frustrated me on my one run through of Color Splash, because I couldn't able to play it again because that would reset everything. Because unlike games like Sticker Star or Origami King, you can't have multiple save files here. That's an issue. Alright, this boss I was actually going to put at last place. If it wasn't for those other three, I probably should have put this at number 13, but either other way. I should have actually put this at number... I should have put this in last place, actually. But the meat boss, obviously, I just want to call it... Anyway, don't worry, that's not what I'm here. That's not... The way you defeat the meat boss, I'm not going to say it. Okay, the way you defeat this boss is it's not really actually a boss, but it has the music. It has that mini boss music the big spiny had, so I had to include it. The way you actually deal with it is you have to tenderize it. You have to hit it with a hammer, and then you have to do a lot of things, because you have to use the salt and pepper, and then you have to use the salt and pepper, the barbecue, and then the lemon in order to tenderize the meat, obviously. But obviously, I might have called it the other thing sometimes. But it doesn't matter. Okay, that's not why I'm here. I don't want to see comments about that. Okay. But anyway, the way you actually defeat this boss is you have to cook it. Yeah, it's just cooking meat. This is why I was gonna put this actually in last place, but the other boss is kind of downweighted, so it's kind of lucky. But I purposely didn't want it in the top 10 because of something. I'm not gonna really talk about that. Do I have to say anything? Just use some ice fires and this boss just goes down. Okay, we're reaching the top 10, and now we need to talk about a boss that involves blocking and kind of annoyed me. And I'm talking about Black Paint Bowser. Yeah, you know Black Paint Bowser is the boss in Paper Mario Kart that I need to defeat. Basically the first phase involves you attacking him to make half his paint go. You can actually do that, but do that after you beat this fight for the first time. At least you can actually do that by using Black Bowser's castle against him. And then obviously then that'll get him in exactly to half health loss, and then the black paint just repossesses him, and then like grows him, and then it just gets hard, and it's kind of annoyed me for a final boss. I prefer the final boss in Sticker Star even over this one. And one thing I don't understand is using the washing machine doesn't clean the black paint. How did it work in the Roy fight but not here? Anyway, I'll speak about the Roy fight later, but it's at least in the top 10. It was kind of fun, but not too fun. Okay, this is one of the mini bosses in Plum Park. When you grab the teapot, there's a boss that was actually in Sticker Star. I'm talking about P.T. Piranha. Yeah, it's actually spelled like that. The reason it's called P.T. Tomorrow is because in the manual, the origin to this is some sniffets stole the teapot from Dark Blue and used the PT Piranha as a teabag. But anyway, to defeat the PT Piranha, you just have to it's just a regular boss, okay? But it's an original character. That's what I like. Also, also on its head, the balloon thing's there for just false advertisement because you don't need the balloons. The balloons is for some other fight. Alright, now we've got a bit of Koopalings to go through. Alright, anyway, the second worst Koopaling, in my opinion, is actually There's actually no... Yeah, the second worst Koopling, I believe, is Iggy. But it's only number 8 because I like the music in its fight. And I like the whole thing of being in a coliseum with an audience and all that. But anyway, also it's funny what happens if you use the bone early in the Iggy fight. When the 2 minions are in the chariots trying to attack you. It's funny what actually happens. What actually happens is, I think, I watched a YouTube video, what happens is, if you, basically, Iggy will say it's not fair, and then if you try and attack Iggy, and then after that, Iggy will just, will send a Thwomp after you. But anyway, if you do the fight correctly, when Iggy and the 2 minions are all lined up in the chariots, and you use the bone, well, they'll be lined up in the chariots after you actually take on Iggy for a little, and then after the minions come out, I think, then you line up, when the chariots are lined up, throw the bone through. You actually throw the bone, and then the princess comes. But not Princess Peach. It's like, you know, from show. I'm not. It's like a chain chomp comes and crashes and smashes the chariots, and then Iggy complains. It's like so funny. But the reason it's the second worst is because finding the bone is like annoying. The first boss in Paper Mario Color Splash is kind of different. The first boss in Paper Mario Sticker Star is Bowser Jr., but here the first boss in Color Splash is actually the main boss. Is actually the main boss of World 1, Morton. The way you defeat you have to keep attacking Morton, keep dropping his pedals still, keep taking out the Shy Guys until Morton uses his magic to set his mallet on fire. And then once it's on fire, you use the fire extinguisher, which you'd already have because after taking the alternate exit in Ruddy Road, you'd have the fire extinguisher. So you'd definitely have to have. So that means, so when you use the fire extinguisher, the fight just pretty much ends. It's kind of hilarious, but not good enough to the top 5. Okay, this boss is basically a mix of a circus and a magic show. Basically, we've got a magician. Basically, what we've got is a magician, a magic acrobatic Lemmy Koopa. The way to defeat Lemmy Koopa is you have to keep attacking Lemmy Koopa for a bit with hammer, defeating the enemies with hammers, jumping on top of them until Lemmy keeps using magic and stuff. Lemmy uses a Wonder Ball, and the Wonder Ball, but Lemmy will keep dodging your attacks. But so you have to use the Disco Ball in order to make Lemmy dance, and then after that, use the Ice Pick to pop the ball, and then you can just keep attacking Lemmy. It's kind of interesting, and it's also the only fight that uses 2 of these things, and I like that. Okay, there are only 2 more Koopalings left, and yeah, there are 2 more Koopalings less than 3. There are 2 Koopalings and 1 and 3 like mini boss style things. Anyway, let's look at Ludwig, shall we? Ludwig von Koopa is one of the Koopaling bosses. The way you're going to take... And I like how it's done. You basically need to use the Tanuki tail, or like the tail. So when Ludwig is on the boat, because Ludwig is in the Super Lud ship, and basically when Ludwig shoots the cannons, you have to repel the cannons using the tail, and then it'll break. And then once the ship crashes, the Super Lud Super Lud submarine is initiated, and you can't fire the missiles. And if you don't use the balloons to get the submarine to you and break it, what happens is after, or use replica, Ludwig calls the meteor missile storm and just takes you down. But then after you break the Super Lud ship, the fight just turns back to normal. There's pretty much nothing after that. Yeah, also, I'm not going to say anything. In Black Bowser's Castle, on the first time you're playing Black Bowser's Castle, when you try and get the princess's painting down to repaint her, you get pushed into the dungeon, and then Huey says, "Oh, I hope there are no bad guys around," and then Ludwig and some Shy Guys appear. Basically, the Ludwig fight, the Shy Guys steal your paint, and Ludwig fires the paint back at you. But something funny actually happened to me during the Ludwig fight, is I used the Battle Spinner to get a 1-up, and then got all my paint back, and then the paint just served no purpose. So basically, Ludwig actually mixes up all your paint to actually, and then spews black paint all over the place. That's when you use Roy. Yeah, sorry. I need to redo that. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna be redoing that now. I'm gonna redo that. I'm not gonna edit it out. Okay. How you defeat Roy? How Roy takes all your paint back. Roy takes your paint and shoots it back, and then you have an emotion attack, and that's how you. And that'll help you detect what card you use. And then when Roy thinks it's too slow to give back all your paint, he mixes up all the paint and shoots and makes black paint all over the place. And the way you diffuse the black paint is using this washing machine right here. Yeah, this washing machine. Yeah. And that's it. And then you just take Roy out. Simple, right? I also, earlier, I forgot Roy existed. My bad. There's one more Koopaling and 3 more mini-bosses left. 2 more mini-bosses, left on this list. I'm not letting any bias get to me, because in Ludwig I didn't let the blue paint star bias get to me. And I'm not letting my Kamek bias get to me. Hence the name of my channel. Basically, Kamek shrinks your entire character, and then which halves your attacks, and does a bunch of things. Ignore the noise. It's not you. Basically, it keeps attacking you. When Kamek interrupts a battle to sabotage it, he basically does what he does in an actual battle head on, which I believe is kind of interesting. Which I think this deserves to be in the top 3. Alright, who's going to win? Is it the last Koopaling or... Well, okay. First, I don't think you'd even call this a boss. So, before you start going... Because if you were wondering why I got 15 instead of 14 bosses... Because I actually included the Black Shy Guy. Second off, there's a boss that is considered a mini-boss. And it's kind of interesting. Also, let's talk about the Shy Bandit boss. This is actually a mini-boss, okay? You can go and look. It's actually on Google. It's a mini-boss. And the way you defeat the Shy Bandit, you just defeat normally, actually. You could just use any card. So why is it number 2? It's because it's like a race. It's a race to determine if you beat the Shy Bandit, and it's so funny. And so fun, and you use all the parts on the world map. And that's just interesting. And also there are so many scenarios, like if you defeat the Shy Bandit, if you beat the Shy Bandit to their desired ball, if the Shy Bandit slurps the paint, that's how it works. It's so interesting. And now the best Paper Mario Color Splash boss is Wendy O'Cooper. Also, look, Wendy's moving. Also, read the disclaimer at the beginning. Make sure you read it, okay? Anyway, I had to put this up in first place. What else would I have put? It's sad also you can't refight these bosses unlike an Origami King, because that would have been so good. Anyway, the way you defeat Wendy O'Cooper is basically Wendy will... Also, I like the whole rhythm thing. It's like in the Goopa Poopa fight. I like all this rhythm. I like I like the music very much. Who doesn't like music? I like how and also like the whole pirate theme, music, rhythm, and also the coin throwing. And also Wendy basically orbits in a ring, and then after that, Wendy will shoot the ring at you. But before Wendy even has a chance to throw the ring at you, you can use the camera in order to make Wendy not think it's you, and then you can just defeat her as normal. It's so fun, and I like the pirate theme. Just for that, why wouldn't I put this in first place? Like, subscribe, no swearing in the comments, and I'll see you later.